Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to stay alive at the edge of the world? Here, the line between life and extinction is thinner than ice itself. Welcome to the Arctic, a realm carved by wind and frozen by time, where even the sun struggles to rise. Every breath burns, every step drains strength, and only those who adapt can endure. In this kingdom of frost, survival isn't a gift. It's a battle fought in silence every single day. In the frozen world, the polar bear stands as a picture of strength. Its thick white fur and heavy layer of fat allow it to withstand brutal cold, even when temperatures fall below -50 degrees Fahrenheit. On drifting ice, it waits with patience, watching for seals to surface for air, then striking with sudden precision. Yet the success rate is only about 10 to 20%, showing that even an apex hunter often faces failure. Rapid ice loss now forces this predator to swim longer distances in search of food, turning survival into a costly journey of energy and endurance. Some individuals go hungry for weeks, even months, before finding their next meal. In lean years, they will feed on seabird eggs or leftover remains, proof of their remarkable adaptability. The greatest danger can also come from within. Adult males sometimes threaten cubs, driving females back into the breeding cycle. In this harsh wilderness, even the rulers of the Arctic are never completely safe. Among the most vital prey of the Arctic, the caribou stands out for its long migrations that stretch hundreds of miles across ice and snow. With broad antlers and extraordinary endurance, it withstands both freezing winds and the predators that follow its path. For Arctic wolves and indigenous people alike, the caribou is a lifeline. In winter, they dig through deep snow to find lichen and moss, the scarce food that keeps the herd alive. By spring, the caribou are constantly on the move, creating one of the most remarkable migrations on Earth. This journey not only sustains the herd, but also spreads nutrients across the vast land, enriching the Arctic ecosystem. For the Inuit and many other native communities, the caribou is more than food. It is deeply tied to culture and tradition. Through persistence and adaptation, the caribou has become a symbol of the enduring bond between people and nature in the far north. If the polar bear is the symbol of ice, the orca is the ruler of the deep, cold seas. They rarely hunt alone. Instead, they rely on teamwork and strategy to surpass every other creature. Within close-knit pods, each member takes on a role: a leader, an attacker, a distractor. This coordination allows them to bring down prey many times their own weight. with speeds reaching nearly 35 miles per hour. Pods of orcas are fast enough to corner seals, sharks, and even young whales. They are also known for unique tactics, creating waves to topple ice floes, forcing smaller animals into the water. Their use of echolocation reveals every movement, even in darkness or beneath heavy ice. What sets orcas apart is their ability to pass down knowledge through generations. Each pod has its own distinct dialect of sounds, a cultural identity that strengthens bonds and preserves tradition. Innovative hunting techniques are not only about strength, but are taught and shared, forming a collective legacy. This blend of power, intelligence, and heritage makes the orca a true master of survival in the frozen seas, where culture is as vital as muscle. Across the snow-covered lands, the Arctic wolf embodies resilience and unity. They often live in small packs of 5 to 10, relying on close cooperation to survive. Their prey includes Arctic hares, caribou, and even musk oxen. Large and demanding challenges. When hunting, they use coordinated tactics. Some drive the prey to exhaustion, while others wait ahead to intercept. This strategy conserves energy and increases the pack's chance of success. At times, they travel dozens of miles just to follow a caribou herd. Clear proof of extraordinary stamina. The role of the Arctic wolf goes beyond feeding the pack. By keeping caribou and other large populations in check, they help preserve the fragile balance of the ecosystem. Without them, grazing animals could grow too numerous, stripping away scarce vegetation. Their struggles are not only with prey, but with the environment itself. Endless winter nights, piercing cold, and dwindling food supplies. Yet with thick fur, remarkable endurance, and the strength of pack bonds, the Arctic wolf has become one of nature's most resilient survivors. In the white expanse of ice and snow, the snowy owl seems to vanish into its surroundings with a coat of thick, pure white feathers. This perfect camouflage allows it to approach prey unnoticed. Its diet centers on lemmings, Arctic hares, and at times small birds. Snowy owls often perch on high vantage points, waiting patiently for the right moment. Their large eyes see clearly in dim light, able to detect prey from more than half a mile away. Combined with sharp hearing, they can sense even the faintest movement beneath the snow. This gives them the ability to hunt both in the bright days of summer and in the long darkness of winter. When the moment comes, the snowy owl strikes with remarkable speed. Its powerful talons secure the catch in an instant. Through adaptation, keen vision, and silent skill, the snowy owl has become a lasting symbol of strength and perseverance in the far north. The musk ox is one of the ancient survivors of the Ice Age, a living proof of resilience through tens of thousands of years of shifting climates. Its double-layered coat tells the story of survival, a long, coarse outer layer that shields against wind and snow, and a soft inner layer that traps warmth, allowing it to endure temperatures below -50 degrees Fahrenheit. When threatened by Arctic wolves, the herd swiftly forms a defensive circle. Calves stand in the center, while the adults face outward, their powerful curved horns creating a solid wall of protection, a strategy passed down through countless generations. Their diet is built on lichens, grasses, and the sparse plants that grow during the short Arctic summer. By grazing, musk oxen help renew tundra pastures, keeping the ecosystem in balance. This endurance, along with their ecological role, makes them more than protectors of their herd. They are living shields for the Arctic itself. Smaller than many other hunters, the Arctic fox carries remarkable adaptability. Its thick, snow-white coat provides warmth and near-perfect camouflage in the frozen landscape. Its main food is the lemming. It also takes birds, eggs, and makes use of leftover scraps from larger predators. Famous for caching, it hides food beneath the snow to use during lean days. With this smart habit, it can endure long winter months when many species struggle. Arctic foxes often trail polar bears to gather the remnants left after large hunts. This careful strategy saves energy and avoids direct risks. The brutal winter brings many tests, yet agility, planning, and the skill to turn small chances into advantages help the Arctic fox prove that even the smallest creatures can be masters of survival in the far north. In the icy waters of the Arctic Ocean, the walrus appears like a massive block of steel, armed with long, sharp tusks. They live in large herds, forming living walls to shield one another from polar bears. When danger draws near, the group quickly gathers into a circle, the largest standing on the outside, using their weight and tusks as defense. Their main source of life comes from the sea floor. They dive deep to feed on clams, mussels, and other shellfish. With powerful suction, they draw the meat from the shells, leaving empty husks scattered across the seabed. Tusks serve not only as weapons, but also as tools to break ice and to haul themselves onto floes for rest. Walruses depend on sea ice for shelter and for raising their young. It is their unity that secures their survival, proving that in such a harsh world, collective strength can matter even more than individual power.
No warning, no sign beforehand. When a lion begins its charge, everything unfolds in just seconds. A roar echoes across the land. Muscles tighten. Eyes lock onto the target. Power, speed, and instinct move as one, in a single, decisive motion. Every strike is precise, honed by years of survival in a harsh wilderness. In this world, predators can't afford mistakes. And the lion, with unmatched strength, knows exactly how to seize the moment. The cheetah, fastest of all land animals, can reach speeds up to 70 miles per hour in short bursts. Its slender build, long legs, and flexible spine allow for nearly instant acceleration. But the cheetah's strength lies not in confrontation, but in avoidance. It relies entirely on speed to escape danger, as its body is not built for face-to-face conflict. On a quiet afternoon, a mature male cheetah rests among the tall grass after a failed attempt at hunting. He misses the subtle signs, changes in the wind, startled birds, and an unusual stillness settling over the ground. Two male lions are already closing in, silently. Instead of springing to his feet and sprinting as usual, the cheetah glances back briefly, then turns away without accelerating. A fatal mistake. Within seconds, he disappears into the tangled grass, leaving behind only silence. And a trail of deep paw prints pressed into the soft earth. Even the fastest creature on land cannot outrun a moment of hesitation when instinct stays quiet and reaction comes too late. Lions are among the most powerful and social big cats in the Felidae family. They live in well-organized prides with clear roles between dominant males and hunting females. An adult male typically weighs around 420 pounds, and his thick mane helps protect his neck during confrontations. Females are lighter but more agile, serving as the pride's primary hunters. They can sprint up to 50 miles per hour over short distances, fast enough to take down most prey on the grasslands. Their ability to coordinate in groups gives them a much higher success rate than solitary predators. A lion's roar can be heard up to 5 miles away, serving as a distant claim of territory. In the wild, the lion is more than a predator. It stands as a symbol of power and order. Lions and hyenas are two of Africa's top predators and age-old rivals. They compete not just for food, but for territory, dominance, and survival itself. Hyenas hold the advantage in numbers, while lions command unmatched individual strength. When these forces meet, the outcome hinges on numbers and on boldness. A lone lion is often no match for an entire hyena clan. He can be surrounded, pushed off a kill, or forced to retreat to avoid injury. But when lions arrive as a group, especially with multiple adult males, the balance shifts instantly. On a sweltering afternoon, a clan of hyenas gathers around the carcass of a buffalo that had fallen the night before. Their raspy calls echo through the air, a bold declaration of possession. But behind the tall grass, larger shadows begin to emerge. The lions step into view, walking straight into the heart of the feast. The hyenas scatter in confusion. A few attempt to stand their ground, but most retreat quickly. One, too slow to flee, is brought down within moments. Yet the lion does not feed. He lets out a thunderous roar and walks away. It wasn't about food, and it wasn't revenge. It was a timeless reminder that on this land, power is not shared equally. African wild dogs are among the most efficient hunters on the savanna. They lack size and strength, but compensate with flawless coordination and remarkable endurance. A single pack can bring down prey twice their size, using precise encircling tactics, step by step, move by move. But when they face lions, the balance of control shifts completely. On a calm morning, a wild dog pack was gathered around the remains of a successful hunt. Unaware, they had drifted into the outer edges of a male lion's territory. An area marked not just by scent and claw, but by habit and routine. The lions didn't charge right away. Instead, they moved in quietly, step by careful step. Using the landscape and the dog's distraction to their advantage, the air grew heavy, but the pack remained focused on their meal. It wasn't until a young dog on the outer rim caught a glimpse of the approaching lion that the alarm was raised. But it was too late. A swift, clean charge. One dog was knocked aside, no longer able to move. The rest scattered into the grass, leaving behind a thick silence. And an old, familiar lesson about survival. The lion didn't feed on the fallen dog. Though apex predators, lions rarely view wild dogs as suitable prey. Their strong odor and scent glands make them less desirable. This attack wasn't about food. It was a warning. A cold reminder that boundaries are still guarded. And intruders will always pay a price. For a male lion, growing up isn't just about age. It's a journey to earn the right to exist. When he leaves his birth pride, he carries nothing but instinct and youth. To survive, he must do what every male before him has done: fight, claim territory, and force out those who came before. It's an unspoken law, harsh but unchanging. The victor gains more than land. He earns the right to reproduce, to pass on his lineage across the plains. Not all threats come from outside. Sometimes, a lion's greatest danger comes from his own kind. Other males waiting for their chance to rise. Dominance in the lion world never lasts forever. And to stay at the top, there's often only one path: remove the rival. A lone male wanders into a territory already claimed. The scent, The tracks, the distant calls, all make it clear that this land belongs to another coalition of males. But instead of retreating, he presses forward, a bold move and a declaration of intent. This isn't like hunting. It's a battle that can last minutes or even hours, because it's not just strength, but willpower. The winner keeps the land. The loser may lose far more than status. He may lose his life. And sometimes, even before claws meet skin, a lion understands he's already lost. He steps back, retreats, and fades into the horizon, carrying both wounds and a timeless lesson. In a world ruled by power, there's no room for hesitation, not even in a glance. Leopards, solitary and elusive, are known for their agility and mastery of concealment. They avoid confrontation, living quietly in the shadows and navigating the world from the safety of high branches. But in a wilderness where power defines survival, caution alone is sometimes not enough. Lions frequently steal kills from leopards whenever the opportunity arises. Although leopards often drag their prey into trees to avoid losing it, some lions, on rare occasions, will climb after them to claim the meal. The imbalance in strength makes lions a threat not only to prey, but to fellow predators as well. In rare moments, when surrounded by a pride, a leopard may choose not to flee. Instead, it will lie on its back, paws raised in a defensive posture, a calculated gesture of submission. Because it knows that even a single rash move could mean the end. If fortune favors it, the lions may simply threaten and move on. But if caught in open ground, without a tree nearby, the outcome is often grim. In some cases, when a leopard fails to reach the trees in time, the lions will finish the encounter, removing a rival. Not out of hunger, not due to a direct territorial breach, but because, to a lion, dominance means more than holding ground. It means proving that weakness has no place in their world.
For more than 200 million years, they have carried the raw strength of survival. Each strike is an explosion of instinct and primal force. Without noise or display, they wait in silence for the decisive moment. A single misstep is enough to shift the balance of survival. At the border between land and water, the crocodile always holds the advantage. It is this power that makes even nature itself take notice. Lions, the symbol of strength on the savanna, rarely fear other predators when on land. With muscular bodies, speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, and fierce instincts, they dominate nearly every creature within their range. Yet the border between dry ground and water tells a different story. At lakes and riverbanks, the crocodile holds the upper hand. Bringing down an adult lion is almost impossible. They are quick, alert, and capable of a powerful defense. If miscalculated, the crocodile itself could be at risk. But for young lions, still lacking experience, danger lurks just beyond the water's edge. On a sweltering afternoon, a pride approaches the shoreline to cool off, unaware that a crocodile has been waiting beneath the surface. As the cubs move ahead of their mother, less cautious than they should be, the reptile seizes the instant. With a sudden, explosive strike, it surges forward, too fast for the mother to respond. In a single precise move, the small figure vanishes from sight, swallowed by murky waters. Silence returns, but the pride is left unsettled, a heavy pause hanging in the air. The scene reveals not only the crocodile's flawless ambush strategy, but also a timeless rule. In the wild, no matter how strong, every creature must respect the boundaries of survival. Here, even one small misstep can shift the balance between ruler and ambusher. Along Africa's great rivers, where elephant herds cross in search of food and water, crocodiles wait in the depths, watching from a distance. An adult elephant can weigh up to 12,000 pounds, far too massive to be a true target, making any attempt against them extremely difficult. The rare opportunity comes when elephants must cross fast-flowing waters, where their strength and stability are put to the test. Mothers position themselves at the front, forming a living shield so the calves can follow closely and make it across. Yet in the swirling current, not every young one is always protected. A calf that slips and drifts away from the group creates the moment a crocodile has been waiting for. Using the river's force and its advantage of distance, it moves in swiftly, launching a sudden ambush. In an instant, sheer power and surprise bring the struggle to an end before the herd can react. That moment reveals not only the crocodile's mastery, but also a harsh reminder. Even the largest and mightiest creatures can become vulnerable when nature shifts the balance. Crocodiles are among the most ancient predators on Earth, appearing more than 200 million years ago and changing very little in form ever since. Their bodies are covered in thick, armor-like scales. and their powerful jaws deliver a bite force of thousands of pounds, strong enough to overpower prey in an instant. Reaching lengths of over 16 feet and weighing more than 1,500 pounds, crocodiles are true masters of their semi-aquatic world. On land, they may seem slow and deliberate, but in the water, they become swift and agile, driven by strong muscles and a long tail that propels them forward at just the right moment. With eyes and nostrils set high on their heads, crocodiles can watch and breathe while remaining mostly hidden beneath the surface, an ideal advantage for ambush. Opportunistic by nature, they will take fish, birds, mammals, and even rival predators when the chance arises. And while they are famed for sudden, decisive strikes, crocodiles also spend long hours basking in the sun, regulating their body temperature. A lifestyle balanced between bursts of power and careful energy conservation. The spotted hyena, the opportunist of the savanna, rarely strays far from dry land. On solid ground, the advantage is clearly theirs, with teamwork, stamina, and sheer persistence giving them the edge over crocodiles when competing for food. Yet on hot days, hyenas gather near rivers and lakes to drink, often clashing with crocodiles over unexpected meals, especially animal remains washed ashore. These surprise feasts attract both species, creating tense encounters right at the water's edge, where crocodiles lie in wait. Cautious by nature, adult hyenas usually keep a safe distance. But in the commotion of the clan, one distracted individual can drift too close. Even so, no confirmed case shows a crocodile fully overpowering a hyena, an animal renowned for its quick reflexes and sharp awareness. Most encounters at the shoreline end without a clear victor, turning instead into calculated standoffs, where both sides test each other's limits before ultimately sharing what the river has delivered. The wildebeest, an iconic grazer of the African plains, migrates in massive herds, crossing mighty rivers in search of fresh water and new grasslands. Yet beneath these seemingly calm waters lies their greatest danger: the crocodile. With a solid frame, mud-colored hide, and the ability to stay motionless like a drifting log, the crocodile becomes a phantom beneath the surface, waiting patiently for hours. When the herd lowers their heads to drink, vigilance fades, opening the door for an ambush. In these moments, crocodiles can succeed as often as 50 to 60% of the time, especially when escape routes are blocked. In an instant, coiled muscle and a sudden sweep of the tail propel the reptile upward, closing the gap in a dramatic strike. Though wildebeest resist fiercely, few can overcome the overwhelming strength of the hunter below. One fallen wildebeest becomes the beginning of life for others, feeding crocodiles, vultures, and scavengers alike, sustaining nature's unyielding cycle. These ambushes, repeated with each migration season, form a timeless rhythm of survival on the African plains, where every river crossing is a gamble against unseen forces. Zebras, with their striking black and white stripes and ever-watchful nature, are a familiar sight on Africa's grasslands. They gather in large herds and must cross wide rivers during their migrations in search of fresh grazing. Yet these very crossings turn them into favored targets for crocodiles, especially in shallow, fast-flowing waters where zebras stumble more easily and struggle to maneuver as quickly as they do on land. Compared to wildebeest or buffalo, zebras are often less cautious, making them more vulnerable. As the herd surges into the river, the water becomes a storm of splashes and confusion. In this chaos, the young or slower individuals are quickly left behind, creating perfect opportunities for ambush. Crocodiles lie in wait at strategic points, blending seamlessly with the water, exposing only their eyes and nostrils. Patient and deliberate, they watch every step, waiting for the moment a zebra strays or lags behind in the current. When the timing is right, several crocodiles may act together, pulling the animal beneath the surface, an overwhelming force that dramatically increases their success. Studies suggest that crocodiles succeed in nearly half of these ambushes, with success rates around 50%. Though some zebras manage to escape thanks to quick reflexes or the help of nearby herd members, each river crossing remains a perilous gamble, an unforgiving contest between raw power and survival instinct. African wild dogs, enduring and highly skilled hunters, usually roam in packs of 10 to more than 20. With speed, stamina, and cooperative tactics, they rule the open ground. But once they step into the water, the balance of power shifts dramatically to the predator beneath the surface. Crocodiles and wild dogs rarely clash directly, yet moments arise when the dogs must cross rivers or chase prey into shallow waters, moments that open the door for an ambush. Focused on blocking their quarry's escape, the dogs sometimes stray too close to the edge, unknowingly entering the crocodile's domain. It is in these rare instances that the reptile strikes. With swift precision, the attack unfolds in an instant, and the wild dog vanishes from sight beneath rippling waves. In just a heartbeat, the confident hunter becomes vulnerable, forced to reckon with the silent strength of the river, where every advantage of the land dissolves, and the crocodile calmly takes control of the encounter. Like an arrow of the grasslands, the cheetah is the embodiment of speed and precision. In a world filled with constant dangers, it does not rely on the strength of a pack or massive muscles, but on swift strides and daring strategy. Every breath, every movement is calculated to seize the most fragile moment. When it bursts forward, stillness transforms into a breathtaking chase, where even the slightest mistake can decide the outcome. In the wild, the impala is one of the cheetah's favorite and most accessible prey. Small and agile, they travel in herds ranging from dozens to hundreds, creating an abundant food source that helps the cheetah survive. Yet the impala is highly alert and capable of lightning-fast reactions. The cheetah often selects a young or isolated individual, but when the distance is close enough, it will also challenge a full-grown adult. It hides within the tall grass, moving step by step in silence. When the gap narrows, it unleashes its speed, darting forward like an arrow. The herd leaps high to evade, but with the sheer difference in pace, once close, the cheetah can quickly overpower its target. The chase usually lasts only 15 to 20 seconds. With the right choice of target, the cheetah succeeds nearly 60% of the time. Such a prize is not just proof of speed and strategy, but also an essential source of nourishment. On average, an adult cheetah requires about 6 to 8 pounds of meat each day to sustain its strength and care for its young. For this reason, the impala plays a vital role in the food chain, reminding us that on the savanna, speed is not only power, it is the key to survival. In the world of big cats, the cheetah stands out not for its muscular strength, but for its extraordinary speed. Weighing only around 120 pounds, its slender frame and flexible spine allow each stride to cover more than 20 feet. A large heart and powerful lungs work like a turbo engine, enabling sudden bursts of energy in short moments. But this speed has limits. If the chase lasts too long, its body temperature rises quickly, forcing it to stop. Cheetahs often hunt in the early morning or late afternoon. When cooler air increases their chance of success. They rarely live completely alone, often forming small groups of 2 to 5, which allows them to coordinate in many hunts. It is this combination of sheer speed and collective strategy that makes them both formidable hunters and vulnerable when facing larger predators. Across the savanna, the cheetah remains a symbol of the delicate balance between speed, unity, and survival. If the lion is the ruler of the savanna, then the hyena is the rival the cheetah encounters most often. Unlike the occasional presence of lions, hyenas are almost everywhere, usually moving in large clans. Their overwhelming numbers allow them to harass and easily take away the prize a cheetah has just earned. With its slender frame, a lone cheetah stands little chance of holding on to a meal against an entire group of hyenas. Yet not every encounter is one-sided. When a single hyena faces a pair or trio of cheetahs, the balance shifts in favor of the swift cats. In a one-on-one standoff, however, the hyena's grit and endurance can cause hesitation, for speed alone may not overcome such resilience. These confrontations reveal a paradox of the cheetah. Blessed with extraordinary speed, yet still vulnerable to persistence and overwhelming numbers. For this reason, the hyena remains a constant challenge, a reminder that survival requires not only swiftness, but also wisdom, knowing when to retreat and preserve strength. If the wildebeest is the cheetah's main target, then the lion is its greatest threat. On the savanna, an adult lion can weigh nearly 3 times as much as a cheetah and always holds the advantage in strength. When a cheetah brings down its prey, lions often appear to take the reward. Without a chase, sheer dominance alone can force the cheetah to surrender its prize. But losing a meal is not the only risk. In direct encounters, a moment of carelessness could put the cheetah in serious danger. For this reason, it often withdraws quickly, choosing survival over the risk of holding on to its catch. Territorial pressure makes the struggle even harder. Lions usually control the richest grasslands, turning them into dangerous zones for cheetahs. A single misstep into these areas demands constant vigilance. This reality highlights a sharp paradox. Even as the fastest animal, the cheetah remains vulnerable before the lion. To endure, it must rely on caution and cleverness, accepting that speed may bring the prey. Yet survival depends on avoiding the power of the savanna's true ruler. The wildebeest is a familiar grazer of the savanna, famous for its strong sense of unity. When moving, they gather in large herds, forming a shifting wall that is difficult to break through. Yet even this living barrier sometimes opens a gap for a predator to exploit. Patiently waiting, the cheetah moves slowly, blending perfectly into the landscape before its prey. Its sharp gaze follows the rhythm of the herd, waiting for the smallest lapse. When one adult lags behind and the formation falters for a moment, that is the instant it strikes. At speeds of more than 60 miles per hour, the cheetah launches forward, its path cutting through the air like an arrow. At times, not 1, but 2 or even 3 cheetahs join forces, each taking a different approach. The pounding of hooves sends dust into the air, creating a screen of confusion. But in the midst of this chaos, the target loses its advantage. In less than half a minute, the cheetah uses both speed and coordination to overpower a grown wildebeest. such success is never guaranteed, for hunts against wildebeest succeed only about 40% of the time. This encounter closes with a clear lesson. On the Savanna, speed has meaning only when used at the right moment, while unity remains the herd's strongest shield. The cheetah does not face challenges only from other predators, but at times from its own species. These confrontations usually arise from disputes over hunting territories or access to mates during the breeding season. On the Savanna, where resources are always limited, competition becomes inevitable. Two adult males may challenge each other through chases and displays of dominance, seeking to claim control over an area. Most encounters end with warnings, as the weaker one withdraws to conserve energy. But there are moments when tension escalates into direct clashes. Revealing the fierce determination to protect vital interests. In nature, survival is shaped not only by external threats, but also by internal rivalry, both playing a role in the cheetah's harsh journey to endure. From the moment they are born, cheetah cubs face countless challenges. In their first months, they depend entirely on their mother's protection and milk. A pale gray coat with a long mantle of hair along the back helps them blend into the grass and avoid the gaze of predators. By a few months old, they begin to explore their surroundings. Every stumble in a run, every failed stalk becomes an important lesson. The mother patiently guides them, bringing back small prey so the cubs can practice biting and holding. Step by step, the skills of stalking, shadowing, and sudden bursts of speed are sharpened. As they reach maturity, young cheetahs must set out on their own survival path. Some leave their mother to form small groups with siblings, working together in their first hunts. This is a crucial stage where they learn to balance risk and caution, speed and strategy. Only those who persist in learning and adapting can endure, ensuring the steady continuation of the cheetah's presence across the Savanna. Under the scorching sun, the Savanna shimmers with rising dust. The leopard emerges like a flash of lightning, carrying the unmatched speed and precision of instinctive hunting. One brief mistake, one breath out of rhythm, can decide the fate of its target. Yet this predator is not only tested against weaker prey, but also challenged by rivals that are larger, stronger, and more numerous. Its life is a constant struggle in a harsh world, where instinct, strategy, and courage blend as one. This is the journey of tactics, survival, and the fighting spirit of a true master of ambush. Among the rivals that cause the most frustration, hyenas are the leopard's most persistent adversaries. They rarely put in the effort to stalk, choosing instead to wait until the leopard has finished a hunt, then appear to seize the reward. Their persistence and sheer numbers make them a serious threat. The leopard, a solitary hunter, cannot face an entire clan head-on. Its strategy is to quickly drag the catch upward, lifting it beyond the reach of the intruders. With unmatched climbing skill, a tree becomes its fortress, where the hyenas can only look up in frustration. Yet the plan does not always unfold perfectly. At times, the sudden arrival of many hyenas forces the leopard to abandon its prize to preserve its own life. True to its nature of avoiding unnecessary risk, the leopard often chooses to retreat if it cannot secure the meal safely above. In these tense moments, silence falls heavy on the scene, an unspoken reminder of nature's harsh balance. No predator holds victory forever. Baboons are both formidable opponents and challenging prey. With body weights that can rival the leopards, they move in troops, armed with sharp teeth and sharp awareness. A solitary leopard approaching such a group always risks facing a united counterattack. Yet in rare moments, an opportunity emerges when a young baboon or a straggler lags behind. High in the canopy, the leopard reveals its mastery of climbing, swift, silent, and more assured than any other big cat. Instead of relying on a single explosive leap, it sometimes pursues patiently across the branches, using every gap to pressure its target, then suddenly appearing within reach. The monkeys respond with alarm calls and chaotic movement, but even a brief hesitation is enough for the leopard to choose its mark. As leaves tremble and branches rustle, the pursuit comes to a quiet end deep within the forest. This kind of encounter is perilous, for baboons are not only prey, but also adversaries capable of inflicting harm. Such confrontations highlight the leopard's boldness and its careful calculation, where it must act as both hunter and cautious survivor. In the dense forest world, each leap and every pause can mark the fine line between success and failure. In the world of big cats, the leopard holds a truly unique place. Unlike lions that thrive in prides or tigers that rule the forests alone, the leopard chooses a quieter path of survival. With an average weight of just 90 to 140 pounds, it is not the largest cat, yet it stands out for its perfect balance of strength, speed, and adaptability. The most defining trait lies in its agility. A leopard can climb trees nearly 20 feet high, even carrying prey weighing up to 1.5 times its own body weight. This rare survival strategy allows it to avoid theft from hyenas or lions. No other big cat shows such a flawless combination of climbing skill, stealth, and patience in ambush. The leopard's range is also the widest among big cats. From arid deserts and dense tropical forests to snowy mountain ranges, it has made each environment its own. This remarkable adaptability makes it an exception in the harsh theater of nature. less dependent on a single habitat than almost any other predator. If hyenas are stubborn thieves, African wild dogs reveal the true force of teamwork. Each weighs only about 50 to 70 pounds, smaller than a leopard, yet together they form a formidable threat. Their endurance and flawless coordination give them the upper hand in any contest. When facing wild dogs, the leopard holds the advantage in muscle and agility, but struggles against the pressure of an entire pack. Alone, it can bring down prey swiftly, but when surrounded by many, retreat becomes the wiser choice. If it fails to haul its catch into the trees in time, it must surrender the meal to protect itself. These encounters rarely last long, but they highlight a sharp contrast. The leopard relies on individual agility, while wild dogs depend on collective strength. It is a vivid reminder that in nature, power can lie in a single hunter, or in the unity of the pack. Among its favored prey, the impala stands as the leopard's most familiar challenge. These antelopes, weighing on average 100 to 150 pounds, are renowned for their agility and astonishing leaps. On the savanna, they often move in herds, forming layered shields against predators. Yet moments of recklessness or brief lapses in focus by a few individuals create openings. Hidden in the tall golden grass, the leopard quietly studies the herd. Every movement is noted and remembered. When the distance closes, it explodes into action. In just seconds, its burst of speed narrows the gap, and a single leap of nearly 20 feet is enough to close the space. At times, the leopard chooses to wait from above, dropping suddenly from a branch, leaving the impala little time to react. Whether on the ground or from the trees, this element of surprise makes the chase even more dramatic. When the dust settles, silence once again blankets the savanna. Success comes in only about 1 out of 3 hunts, but each triumph proves the leopard's remarkable ability to read the moment. It does not rely on overwhelming power, only on speed and precision. Among the large grazers of the savanna, the wildebeest is one of the toughest challenges for the leopard. With adults weighing well over 500 pounds, they are far beyond what a leopard can carry into the trees. For this reason, the leopard usually targets calves, knowing that only by securing the young can it hoist its prize to safety. In rare moments, success allows it to climb with the catch, safe beyond the reach of rivals. Yet not every attempt ends as planned. There are times when the leopard charges a calf, only to be met by the fierce return of its mother, who defends with power and determination, forcing the hunter to retreat at a disadvantage. On rare occasions when a leopard dares to pursue an adult wildebeest, the hunt begins with patient stalking. It waits for the right moment, when one animal drifts from the herd or drops its guard. Using surprise, it bursts forward to close the gap. But every meal is shadowed by tension, each bite taken with watchful eyes scanning the horizon. A single delay, and lions, hyenas, or wild dogs quickly arrive, drawn by the scent of opportunity. In such moments, the entire effort can be lost. This is a clear reminder of nature's harsh reality. For the leopard, skill in the chase is never enough. Survival depends on timing, caution, and securing the chance to enjoy the reward. Of all its rivals, lions pose the greatest threat to the leopard. Weighing nearly 3 times more, with overwhelming strength and a dominant nature, lions rarely allow a leopard to enjoy its prize in peace. The very sight of these rulers instantly casts a heavy tension across the landscape. The leopard knows it cannot face them head-on. When lions draw near, the wisest choice is to retreat, leaving the catch behind to preserve life. A single lapse in caution, a moment too slow, and the leopard risks vanishing from this unforgiving world. Only the most agile and alert individuals can climb to safety before the lions close in. In these encounters, wisdom lies in knowing when to withdraw. It is a reminder that every form of strength has its limits. If confrontations with other predators are dangerous, raising cubs is an even greater challenge. A female leopard usually gives birth to 2 or 3 cubs, each weighing only about 17 to 24 ounces at birth, and completely dependent on their mother. In the first weeks, she hides them in dense thickets or secluded rocky crevices to keep them safe. Every few days, she moves the litter to a new den to erase any scent trails. With patience, she begins teaching them how to stay hidden, to watch, and to stalk, even while they are still small. Because the cubs lack the strength to defend themselves, the mother faces far greater risk when protecting them. A single roar or careless sign of presence could attract predators nearby. Her careful nurturing, combined with constant vigilance, becomes the strongest weapon the leopard has to ensure the survival of its kind. From the frozen silence of the north to the golden heat of the south, the rhythm of life never fades. Every creature moves with purpose, to endure, to adapt, to survive another day. Nature favors not power, but harmony and resilience. Through every storm, drought, and dawn, life continues its quiet march. If the wild still moves your heart, let it be heard. Leave a like, share your wonder, and subscribe to keep exploring the untold stories of this living planet.